My name is Mallory, and for 36 years, I've been the quiet shadow in my family's loud, rugged life out here in the wide open spaces of Montana. The kind of place where ranches stretch for miles under big skies, and folks still settle scores with a handshake or a hard stare. I'd carved out my own path in Billings, working as an archivist at the State Historical Society, preserving old deeds, letters, and photos from pioneer days. It was orderly, solitary work, perfect for someone like me who'd always felt like an outsider in her own kin. The call came on a crisp Tuesday afternoon while I was digitizing faded homestead claims. It was Mom, her voice as brisk as a winter wind off the Rockies. "Grandma passed last night. We're cleaning out the ranch house in Bitterroot Valley this weekend. Need you here."
No tears.
No warmth, just facts. Like she was tallying cattle at auction. That's how we Andersons did things. Emotions were for weaklings or city folk. I hadn't expected more. Our family ran on grit and grudges, not hugs. The drive from Billings to Bitterroot took 4 hours, winding through pine-dotted hills and past herds of elk grazing on the roadside. It was a shift from my tidy apartment with its succulents and stack of unread novels to the raw, untamed West I'd left behind. In the city, I had control, no messy divorces like Mom and Aunt Jenny, no small-town gossip chaining me down. When I pulled up to Grandma's sprawling ranch house, a weathered log cabin expanded over generations, Mom and Aunt Jenny were already knee-deep in sorting heirlooms. They glanced up from dividing silverware like coyotes over a fresh kill. "You're here," Mom said, eyes skimming past me. "Kitchen's done. You take the upstairs bedrooms." Translation: do the grunt work while we claim the prizes. I nodded, biting back a retort. I'd always been the odd one out, the bookworm who preferred libraries to rodeos, the one who moved away instead of marrying local and popping out kids. "Still single?" Aunt Jenny called as I climbed the creaky stairs. "Grandma always said you'd come back and settle down." I ignored her. Grandma had never pushed that on me. Jenny just loved twisting words to make me the family flop. Upstairs, the hall smelled of sage and aged timber, Grandma's scent. Her bedroom door was ajar, sunlight filtering through gingham curtains onto her quilt-covered bed. It felt like she might stroll in any second, scolding us for messing with her order. I started with the closet, folding flannel shirts and denim into boxes for the thrift store in Hamilton. That red plaid one, she'd worn it to my graduation from Montana State, one of the few who showed. Despite the family's chill, Grandma had tried, in her quiet way. It was under the bed, shoved back against the wall and wrapped in a faded Navajo blanket, that I found it, a cedar chest with brass hinges tarnished green. Scrawled across the top in Grandma's steady hand, "For Mallory's eyes only." My pulse quickened as I dragged it out. It was sealed with duct tape, layers upon layers, like she'd debated burning it a dozen times. "Anything worth keeping up there?" Mom yelled from below. "Just old clothes," I hollered back, voice steady despite the knot in my gut. I lugged it to the guest room, my old summer spot, and shut the door. I should have waited till I was back in Billings, safe in my bubble. But that itch to know, to understand why I'd always been the misfit, won out. Peeling the tape felt like unwrapping a bomb. Inside, the scent of yellowed paper hit me, bundles of letters tied with brittle twine, legal papers, black and white photos. On top, a note from Grandma. "Mallory, I thought silence was kindness. I was wrong. Truth has a way of breaking free. Don't let them silence you." My hands shook as I grabbed the first letter. Postmarked 1973 from Bitterroot, from a Bill Harlan. The ink was faint. "My dearest Ellen, I know they're forcing your hand, and it kills me I can't fight em.
Ellen, grandma.
No one called her that. She was always Mrs. Anderson. But this Bill wrote like she was his world. I sorted the letters by date, April to November 1973. They told of a forbidden love, Bill a ranch hand on a neighboring spread, Grandma the daughter of a powerful cattle baron. They'd planned to elope to Wyoming, start fresh. But the last letter was frantic. They know. Your paws threaten me. I'm hightailing it tonight. But watch your back. No more from Bill. Then the bombshells, a marriage certificate. December 1973, Grandma to Grandpa Art Anderson. Hospital records from August 1974 for Mom's birth. Listed as premature. But another birth certificate from a clinic in Idaho. Same date. Father, Bill Harlan. Adoption papers. Never filed. Bank stubs showing secret deposits to Grandma's maiden name account. At the bottom, a leather journal. Grandma's young script. Pa says I gotta marry Art to save the family name. Threatened to frame Bill for rustling if I don't. No one's gonna believe a drifter over the Andersons. Entries detailed a shotgun wedding to protect the ranch's reputation. A baby passed as Art's. A life of quiet misery. Bill wrote once from Colorado. He's safe. But they warned him off. I wanted to tell him about the baby, but they're watching everything. Years blurred in the pages, raising Mom as Art's. Playing the dutiful ranch wife while her heart withered. Entries tapered off. But a recent one. Mallory asked why she feels out of place. How do I say it's 'cause she's the light in all this darkness? The only real thing from those lies. Maybe that's why they push her away. She's too honest for our secrets. I slumped on the bed, world spinning. Downstairs, Mom and Jenny's laughter echoed like shattered glass. They knew.
Had to.
This explained the sidelong glances. The exclusion. I wasn't just odd. I was proof of their cover-up. I repacked the chest. Mind racing.
Confront them?
No, evidence first. Grandma had armed me. Now what? The weekend dragged like a lame horse. I packed boxes, mechanically. The chest hidden in my truck under a tarp. Every word from Mom and Jenny rang false now. Their brittle jokes. Their grabs for valuables. You're quiet even for you, Jenny noted Sunday, eyeing me as I taped to creative tools. Just tired, I muttered. Mom flipped through old ranch ledgers. Curating our history. Found any keepsakes in Grandma's room?
Nah.
Nothing special. Their shared glance, suspicion? Relief? I drove back to Billings that evening, chest beside me like a loaded gun. In my apartment, I bolted the door and spread it all on the kitchen table. Rereading confirmed the nightmare. Bill Harlan. Framed as a thief. Run off the land. Grandpa Art. The enforcer. Using his pull with the sheriff. A letter from Mom at 16 to Art. I know you ain't my real dad. Grandma spilled when she had that fever. Know why you forced her hand. Why Bill never came back. Next month's bank slip, a fat deposit to Mom, hush money. She'd known. Chosen cash over justice. Grandma's will. 6 months old. Set up a trust for me from that secret account. Bill's remittances till his death in 91. For Mallory Ellen Anderson, who lives true in a world of pretense. My middle name, hers. Hidden ties. Phone rang, Mom. About the estate. Jenny and I figure sell the ranch. Split 3 ways.
Sure.
We checked Grandma's files, old receipts. Nothing big.
Shiji.
My skin crawled. You went through everything?
Why?
Want something? They were probing. Just photos, maybe. We'll set some aside. And if you find any stray papers, bring M to the lawyer.
Got it.
I got it. They wanted it buried. I snapped photos, uploaded to clouds, printed copies, stashed originals in my bank box. If they played dirty, I'd be ready. At work,
Ami desti archive.
it hit hard. My life, a lie's shadow. Every ranch barbecue where I sat alone, every jab about my city ways, it was fear of exposure. My boss found me teary-eyed in the stacks. Family troubles? Yeah. Take time if needed. But I needed action. Grandma trusted me with this. Silence wasn't an option. I dug deeper, using work resources, ethically, public records. Bill Harlan, born in Wyoming, worked ranches, vanished 73 after rustling rumors. No charges filed. Arts influence. Married later in Colorado. No kids. Died alone. His sister, Martha, still alive in Denver. I called her, heart pounding. Bill's story?
Yeah.
I know it. Her voice crackled with age. Anderson clan ran him out, threatened jail for made-up crimes. He loved Ellen. Sent money secret-like for the kid. Broke his heart never meeting her.
DNA test?
I ordered a kit.
Swabbed. Sent it. Meanwhile,
I confided in my old college pal, Riley, now a lawyer in Missoula specializing in estate disputes. This is heavy.
mal.
Coercion. Fraud could challenge the will. Expose it all. But legally, statutes run on old threats. True. But suppressing inheritance? Fresh claim. And public? That's leverage. We planned, confront privately first. Seek acknowledgement. Not war. Weeks later, DNA confirmed, Bill Harlan my biological grandpa. I drove to Bitterroot, chest in tow. Mom and Jenny at the ranch.
Sipping coffee like nothing.
We need to talk. I laid out letters, journals, DNA. Mom's face drained. Where'd you get this? Grandma left it for me. Jenny scoffed.
Fakes.
She was losing it. DNA don't lie. You knew took payoffs. Mom crumpled. It was for the best. Back then, unwed pregnancy, ranch would have been scandalized. Lost everything. So force a marriage? Run off the dad. Art saved us. Jenny snapped. Gave stability. Prison, I countered. Grandma's words. Tears flowed. First I'd seen from them. Mom, I was 16 when I learned.
Scared.
Took the money to escape, but stayed for the land. Jenny, we protected the family. By making me the outcast, I spent years thinking I was broken. Silence. What do you want? Mom whispered.
Truth.
Acknowledge Bill publicly. Redirect the trust to honor him. Maybe a scholarship for ranch kids.
And talk.
Real talk. They resisted. But crack showed. Give us time. Back in Billings. Doubt crept in. Was I tearing us apart? But Grandma's note echoed. Don't let them silence you. Yet, revenge felt hollow. Maybe healing was the real win. Riley advised, file if they stonewall. But offer mediation. I did neutral ground. A counselor in Hamilton.
They showed.
Wary. Over sessions. Layers peeled. Mom admitted guilt. I should have spoken up. Jenny feared losing the ranch. I shared my pain. Felt invisible. Tears. Hugs. Awkward. But real. We agreed. No court yet. Public statement at the local paper. Honoring Bill Harlan as part of our history. Trust funds a community fund for family counseling in rural areas, a nod to our fractures. It was an instant fix. but a start. Dinners became less tense. Stories shared. I visited more. Helped with chores. The ranch stayed. A shared legacy. Lesson? Truth hurts. But hiding it poisons deeper. Facing it mends. Months rolled by like tumbleweeds in a Montana gale. The mediation sessions in Hamilton became our ritual, twice a month. Spilling guts in a neutral office smelling of coffee and pine air freshener. Mom opened up first. Your grandma was headstrong. Fell for Bill hard. Pa, your great-grandpa, saw it as a threat to the ranch empire. Back in the 70s, reputation was currency out here. He pulled strings with the sheriff. Spread rustling lies. Bill had no fight in him against that. Jenny nodded. We kids knew whispers, but stayed quiet. Art stepped up or in, depending on the view. I shared letters, Bill's words of love. Grandma's journal of despair. She wrote about riding the back 40 alone, crying for what was lost. Tears flowed freely now, no more stoic Western facade. I took the money 'cause I was angry, Mom confessed. But it chained me, made me part of the lie. And me, I pressed. Why push me away? You looked like Bill, those eyes. Reminded us of the mess. It stung, but explained. We brainstormed healing, a plaque at the ranch gate honoring Bill and Ellen's story.
Subtly.
True love thwarted by old ways, it read. Legally, Riley drafted agreements, the trust redirected, half to me for my archives work, half to a fund for preserving Western family histories, including oral stories from ranches like ours. No fraud charges, the past two buried, but acknowledgments in writing. This clears the air, Riley said. Prevents future disputes. Mom and Jenny signed, hands shaking. For Ellen, Mom murmured. Life shifted. I spent weekends at the ranch, mending fences literally and figuratively. Taught Mom to use email for sharing old photos, Bill in his cowboy hat. Grandma young and fierce on horseback. Jenny's kids, my cousins, warmed up, curious about the real grandpa. One, young Jake, said, cool he was a ranch hand. Like in the movies. We laughed, first real family chuckle in years. But doubts lingered. Was this too easy? A call from Martha Harlan in Denver. Heard the news. Bill'd be proud. You honored him without bitterness.
We met halfway in Bozeman.
She brought Bill's old saddlebag, more letters. A locket with Grandma's photo. He never stopped loving her. Over burgers. She shared. Bill built a life in Colorado. But the exile scarred him. Died wishing he'd fought harder. I cried, hugging her a new aunt. Family's what we make, she said. Back home, I incorporated Bill's artifacts into my work, exhibits on hidden Western romances, forced by land barons. It drew crowds, sparked talks on modern family law in rural areas, clearer statutes on coercion, inheritance. Montana even debated updates.
Personally,
I dated casually a historian from work. No pressure. Mom teased gently. Bring him to the ranch? Progress. One evening, stargazing on the porch, Mom said, I'm sorry.
Mal.
For making you feel less.
I forgive. I replied.
But let's keep talking. Jenny joined. Deal. The lesson sunk in. In the West, we pride self-reliance. But bottling pain isolates. Sharing men's trails better than vengeance. Grandma's box wasn't a bomb. It was a bridge. Summer hit. And we hosted a family barbecue, not the stiff ones of old, but open. Cousins played horseshoes. Stories flowed. I read from Grandma's journal. Love shouldn't be fenced in by fear. Toasts to Bill and Ellen. A neighbor. Old-timer who knew the whispers. Clapped. About time the truth rode free.
No scandal, just quiet respect.
Yet, closure needed one more step. I drove to Bill's grave in Colorado. Martha, beside me, laid wildflowers from the ranch. Thanks for the fightin' me, I whispered. Back. I felt lighter, like shedding a heavy pack after a long trail ride. The ranch thrived. We even started agritourism, sharing its history honestly. My archives job boomed, promoted for the exhibit's success. Mom called weekly now, not just for chores. How's city life? Good. But missing the stars. Jenny sent care packages, homemade jerky, ranch photos. Bonds mending. Fragile but real. The humane path? Worth it. Revenge might have scorched earth. This planted seeds. Light lesson. Truth sets free. But compassion turns it to growth. As fall painted the Montana hills gold, our family's new rhythm solidified. Mediation wrapped. But we kept voluntary check-ins, less formal. Over pie at the local diner. Feels like herding cats sometimes, Mom joked. But we're in the same corral now. Laughter came easier. Idioms flowing like the Bitterroot River after thaw. I shared my pain deeper. Felt like a stray dog at family gatherings, fed but not wanted. Jenny winced. We were scared of the truth blowing up like a bad dynamite charge. Mom, art was hard, old school West. But he provided. At what cost? I asked. Ellenesh happiness.
Nods.
Healing wasn't linear. Arguments flared. But we talked through. Legally. All tidy. Trust reformed. No court drama. Riley, you chose mercy, smart. Avoided the mess of probate wars. The fund launched, Harlan Anderson Legacy Project, grants for documenting rural family secrets, preventing modern echoes. First recipient, a kid researching her grandma's forced land sale. Inspired by your story, she wrote. Grandma's spirit lived on. I visited Martha Moore, weekend drives to Denver.
Suapintales.
Bill loved fly fishing, she said. Gifting his rod. I tried it on the ranch pond.
Cousins joining.
Jake hooked his first trout. For great-grandpa Bill.
Bonds formed.
Mom digitized old tapes, Bill's voice in a rare recording. Singing cowboy ballads. He had a twang like Johnny Cash, she admitted. We played it at Thanksgiving, first inclusive one. No exclusions, even distant kin invited. Toasts to truth and ties. Work thrived, my exhibit toured to Wyoming. Drawing ranchers sharing stories. Reminds me of my folks' hidden marriage, one said. Media picked up, local NPR interview. How one box unraveled a Western dynasty, but rebuilt it stronger. No sensationalism. Focused on healing. Revenge tempts, I said on air. But understanding rebuilds. Calls poured in, folks inspired to confront their pasts.
Personally,
I bloomed. Dated the historian seriously, Alex. Easygoing like a calm trail horse. Brought him to the ranch. Mom grilled him politely. Jenny teased. Fits right in. I felt seen, not sidelined. Healthier habits. Therapy for old wounds. Hikes to clear my head. The box? Donated replicas to the Historical Society, originals safe, but shared. One crisp day, we scattered symbolic ashes, burnt copies of the old lies in a bonfire. Goodbye secrets, Mom said. Flames danced, warming us. Jenny, feels lighter. I nodded, like unloading a pack mule. Lesson reinforced. In vast Western spaces, isolation kills spirits, connection saves. Winter snowed in, but warmth grew. Christmas at the ranch, gifts meaningful, Bill's photo album for all. Stories around the fire, Grandma's recipes. Bill's adventures. No more ghosts. Spring brought renewal, calves born. Fields greening. We planted a memorial tree. For Ellen and Bill. Plaques added context. Love endures beyond fences. A bump. Jenny relapsed into defensiveness during a session. Why dredge it? To prevent repeats, I said calmly. Mom mediated. We're better for it. She apologized.
Growth.
The fund expanded. Workshops on family law for ranchers. Clearer on consent. Inheritance, Riley presented. Montana legislators noticed. Tweaking bills for rural protections. My name change? Considered Harlan. But kept Anderson-Harlan hybrid. Honors both. Mom beamed. Smart. Alex proposed on a hike, simple ring. Big sky witness. Yes. Wedding at the ranch, small. Heartfelt. Martha walked me down. Mom teary. Vows. Through truths and trials. Honeymoon in Wyoming, Bill's old haunts. Years blurred. But the humane pivot paid off. Kids came, taught them honesty early. Secrets rust like old barbed wire. Family gatherings full. Laughter echoing. Mom aged gracefully. Journaling her side. For the grandkids. Jenny softened. Volunteering at the fund. Reflecting, Grandma's box could have sparked wildfire revenge.
Instead,
Controlled burn cleared underbrush for new growth. Light lesson, in the American West, where land's unforgiving, sows the heart without grace. Truth liberates, kindness sustains. A decade on, the ranch stands strong, a hub for family and community. The Harlan Anderson Fund thrives, funding dozens of projects, digitizing old diaries. Legal aid for inheritance disputes in rural towns. Your story started a movement, a grantee told me at a conference in Bozeman. I smiled. Grandma's legacy. Exhibits evolved, interactive, with VR tours of historic ranches, highlighting hidden loves like Ellen and Bill's. Family? Tighter than ever. Mom lives on site. Gardening sage and lavender, Grandma scents. Keeps her close. Jenny visits often. Grandkids romping with mine. Jake, now grown, runs the agritourism, telling our real history draws folks. No more polished facades. Authenticity sells. Weddings, retreats, profits fund scholarships for Western kids studying history or law. I split time. Billings for archives. Ranch for roots. Alex and I built a cabin edition, modern yet rustic. Our kids, Ellen and Will, named for them. Learn ranch ways, riding, fishing with Bill's rod. Tell the Grandpa Bill story, they beg. I do. Age appropriate. Love one. Even delayed.
no bilhains, just humans a ring.
Then mending. Challenges came. Economic dips hit ranches. We adapted. Going organic. A cousin disputed the trust once. Old grudges. But documents and mediation quelled it. Learned from the past, Mom said. Health scares. Jenny's cancer scare united us. Nights in Hamilton Hospital. Sharing regrets. Glad we fixed things, she whispered. Recovery strengthened bonds. Martha passed peacefully at 92. We buried her beside Bill. Scattering Montana soil. Reunited. Her estate added to the fund. Photos. Artifacts. A documentary crew filmed. Western Secrets Unearthed. I narrated. Not about destruction, but reconstruction. Aired nationally. Sparking dialogues on family dynamics in rural America. Your humane approach inspires. Emails read.
Personally,
Fulfillment deepened. Promoted to director at the Society, overseeing statewide preservation. Wrote a book, Box of Truths, A Western Family's Redemption. Bestseller in regional lists. Royalties to the fund. Therapy ongoing. Healing's lifelong, my counselor says. Alex and I renew vows every 5 years, under the memorial tree. Reflecting on that box, shocking discovery could have bred bitterness. Changed plot. Instead of court battles,
We chose talks.
new end. Reconciliation. Not ruin. Mom and I co-author articles on rural mental health. Silence breeds isolation. Voice builds community. Jenny volunteers counseling hotlines. Grandkids ask, why share the bad parts? To learn, I say. Families aren't perfect, but fixable. Light lesson echoed. In vast prairies, storms pass, resilience from facing them together. Truth exposes cracks, compassion seals them. Twilight rides now, solo or with kin, feel peaceful. Stars blanket the sky. Grandma's voice in the wind. You did right.
No regrets.
The American West teaches endurance. Our story adds grace. From outsider to anchor. I've found my place. My name is Mallory Ellen Anderson Harlan. I'm the granddaughter of a love that defied odds. An archivist of truths. A builder of bridges. And in this wide land, that's legacy enough.